All right, so now we know a little more about the background of the bill we're looking at. Let's take a look at the rest of the bill. So a bill is divided in different sections. So we do section one, two, three, four, so on, so all the way down here. Okay. Section one is called the guidelines or requirements. That is what the bill will actually do if it becomes a law. Notice it's kind of done in outline format here. So A, it says teachers who successfully apply for concealed weapon permit may carry a gun on their person. So notice it says that they must apply for a permit, right? So subsection A says teachers must have a specific license to carry a concealed weapon. B says they must pass a mental health evaluation. C must be trained dealing with an intruder in a school setting in conjunction with local law enforcement and training held with law enforcement. So this is what the bill is going to do. So if a teacher would want to carry a gun, they must apply for a concealed carry permit, have a special license, pass a mental health evaluation, and be trained with local law enforcement. Now, the hard part about this is that nothing in the world happens for free. So we have to find some money for this whole process. So the funding will include a grant system. So how does a school going to pay to help train its teachers? Well, there's a grant they can apply for. The grant is up to $5,000 per school district, and the money for that grant will come from a 5% tax on all firearms. So I want to go buy a weapon, a new hunting rifle or a hunting shotgun over at Wilderness Fish and Game. I would buy that firearm, but I have to pay a 5% tax on that. That money would then go into a fund and help train our teachers. Okay? And so that's the associated cost funding comes from. How much money is this going to cost the government? And then where's that money going to come from? Now, lastly, here we have our implementation, section 3. This just says who's in charge of overseeing the bill. Who's going to make sure that the bill actually is enforced if it passes. Here it says the state attorney general, that's the top cop for the state of Wisconsin, is in charge of implementing the bill. Also, the Department of Revenue, that's our tax group in Wisconsin, is in charge of applying the tax portion. Lastly, here's enforcements. So we're not really getting too much into debates of what can happen, right? Now, it's not really about a law, about, you can't do something, so you can do something. So they're saying the Department of Justice will oversee the implementation, and they may make penalties if they want to about, teachers carrying a gun on their person. We are our guidelines here. So our guidelines are set to come into effect on September 1st, 2023. This means that after the bill is passed, when does it actually take effect? So you kind of see the whole bill as put here. Now, if you have any questions or anything, we can talk about those tomorrow. We'll have a chance to hit up questions for you guys tomorrow. Or if you have questions, hopefully our interns or Mr. Fougere can answer for you as well as best of their ability. What you need to do is this. You need to, in Google Classroom, open up your bill research organizer for Keep the Children Safe. And your job is going to be to research this bill. Now, you have to research both sides of it, both the pro and the con, no matter what you think right now. Try and figure out what is going to be your argument when we debate this next Friday. Your goal is to find at least 5 arguments and explain them. So 5 pieces of information, 5 reasons, if you will, to support teachers carrying firearms, and 5 reasons against. Now, notice we're having to argue both sides. Well, here's why. Right now, I wouldn't say you're experts on this, okay? I'm not an expert on this either. I don't know if you've ever find just too many experts on this topic. So the goal is to have you study both sides of it so you can make a decision where you stand. On top of that, even if you already know where you stand, you can kind of know more about the opposition side and how you might argue against them. You can do some bullet points is fine, but make sure you explain it very well. And also, please cite your sources. To help you guys out on the first one, Mr. Bragger and I put together a whole bunch of sources. It's right here. It's a Padlet. And the Padlet, if it opens for me, will go through a whole bunch of different sources that are available that you can utilize to do your research today. And I encourage you to read as many sources as possible. Your goal is to work on this today. If we need time, work on this upcoming Friday as well. But our goal is going to be to have this debate ready for next week, so we can practice our skills of civil discourse that we're going to learn later on this week and learn more about this topic. Obviously, the gun topic is a very controversial topic in America. And so this could become a very personal for certain people, potentially. And so just kind of that warning of make sure you're focusing on the topic we have. You're not on are guns good or bad, but is this solving the problem of the issue, right? The problem is there are school shootings in America. Is this going to be the right solution? Is having teachers carry a firearm on their person could be the right solution. And think about it that way as you start putting your research together. So here's a bunch of different stories for you to click on and look at and use part of your research, or find stuff on your own. You can do that too. One last thing you can think about on here, I don't have a blank for it, but if you want to make any changes to this bill, we can do what's called amend during our debate time. So let's say there's one thing you don't like about the bill, the rest of it you're cool with. You always could think about amendments you want to make and things you might want to change in this bill to make it better. So your goal is to work the rest of the class on this and put everything together. If you have any questions, ask your intern, ask Mr. Fougere as well, and or email me, and I'll do my best to help you out, okay? Thank you for your time. Do a lot of good research here so you can prepare yourself, get ready for our first debate taking place next week. Thank you for your time, and I will see you all tomorrow.